They only wanted a quiet night out. Two brothers, calm, polite, proud of the uniforms they once wore. But before the night was over, 3 police officers would lose their badges, their dignity, and everything they thought made them powerful. It started like so many stories do, ordinary, forgettable. A bar on the edge of town. Music low, lights dim, the smell of beer and smoke hanging in the air. But what happened inside that bar would explode across the internet by sunrise. Because arrogance always forgets one thing: cameras never blink. Marcus and Malcolm Ellis didn't come looking for trouble. They came to celebrate their mother's birthday, to share one last drink before heading home. But they'd chosen the wrong bar, or maybe the right one. When the first officer leaned over their table, smirking at their skin before speaking, the brothers stayed silent. They'd seen that look before, the one that measured worth by color, not character. 15 minutes later, those same officers would be on their knees, begging for mercy in the same parking lot where they'd tried to humiliate 2 men they never understood. Because when the truth came out, the truth about who the Ellis brothers really were, every badge in that town would shake. So stay till the end. Because this is what happens when power meets its mirror and doesn't like what it sees. Friday night in Mason County, Georgia. The kind of town where everyone knows which bar belongs to which crowd. Carter's Tavern, a wooden sign, a pool table, and an unspoken rule: strangers don't linger. Marcus and Malcolm Ellis walked in quietly, like men who'd been taught not to take up space they hadn't earned. 35 years old, identical in face but not in presence. Marcus, stillness like stone. Malcolm, calm that hums beneath the surface. They'd spent most of their adult lives in uniform, used to being invisible until duty called. They chose a booth in the corner, ordered sweet tea and ribs, laughed softly about their mother's cake, still in the car outside. To anyone watching, they looked like any other pair of hard-working men winding down after a long day. But in the reflection of the jukebox mirror, 3 officers noticed them. Sergeant Ray Dalton, broad shoulders, louder mouth. Sergeant Ray Dalton, broad shoulders, louder mouth. Officer Eli Moore, youngest of the trio, with too much whiskey and not enough sense. Corporal Frank Sutter, the kind of man who follows trouble just to keep from looking weak. Ray's grin widened when he saw the twins. He nudged his glass toward them. "Never seen those 2 around here," he muttered. Eli snorted. "Maybe they're lost." And just like that, boredom turned into opportunity. Marcus caught the reflection, saw Ray's whisper, saw the grin. He'd been in enough rooms to know when a storm was coming. Malcolm only said, "We'll eat fast." But deep down, both already knew you don't rush a storm. You brace for it. The first words came wrapped in fake politeness. Ray leaned over the booth, the smell of bourbon heavy on his breath. "Evenin', fellas. You sure you're in the right place?" Marcus didn't look up right away. "Didn't realize there was a wrong one," he said, voice even, eyes still on his plate. That calmness bothered Ray. Bullies don't like quiet confidence. They mistake it for challenge. "See," Ray said, resting a heavy palm on the table, "this is a cop bar. We like things a certain way, you understand?" Malcolm met his eyes. "I understand you're off duty, which means right now you're just another customer." Eli laughed, the sound sharp enough to cut glass. "You got a smart mouth for someone sitting in our spot." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Maybe you should take your food to go." For a moment, nothing moved. Just the flicker of neon reflecting off their glasses. Then Marcus lifted his gaze, slow, steady. "Officer, are we breaking any laws by eating here?" That single question tightened the air. A few customers looked away, pretending to be busy. They'd seen this kind of scene before and learned that silence was safer. Ray's fingers tapped the table. "The law," he said, "depends on who's enforcing it." Marcus's jaw tensed, but his voice stayed calm. "Then I suppose we're lucky you're off the clock." The bar fell silent. Somewhere a bottle clinked on the counter and rolled until it hit the wall. Malcolm finally spoke. "We'll finish our meal, then we'll be gone." Ray's smile flattened. "Finish faster." He straightened, eyes narrowing. "Before I decide you're resisting." The twins exchanged a brief glance, one of those wordless conversations built over years of shared danger. They'd been taught that sometimes walking away was strength. But tonight felt different. Marcus laid a few bills on the table, stood, and said softly, "Respect goes both ways, Sergeant. You might remember that before the night's over." For the first time, doubt flickered in Ray's eyes. He didn't yet know why. But something in Marcus's tone told him he'd just picked a fight he couldn't win. The laughter faded. All that remained was tension thick enough to taste. Ray turned toward the bartender and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Funny how people forget their manners these days." Then he looked back at the twins. "You two ever been searched for ID? Let's make sure you belong here." Marcus didn't move. "Is that a request or an order?" Ray smirked. "Take it how you like." Eli circled behind them, the smell of whiskey spilling off his words. "You look nervous, boy," he said to Malcolm. "You hiding something?" Malcolm's voice stayed low. "Only my patience." That answer drew a few chuckles from the nearby tables, quiet and nervous. Humiliation is what Ray wanted control, the feeling of superiority that comes when a man believes the world won't hold him accountable. He leaned closer. "Watch your tone. Around here, attitude gets you escorted out." Marcus placed his napkin on the table and stood. "Then escort us," he said. Ray slammed his palm down. Glasses rattled. "Sit down," no one breathed. The bar owner froze behind the counter, eyes darting between them. He had seen this play before, and he knew how badly it usually ended. But Marcus didn't flinch. He simply met Ray's glare and said, "You're drunk, Sergeant. Go home." That calm cut deeper than any insult. For the first time, Ray's grin slipped. Eli reached for Marcus's arm. Malcolm caught the motion in his periphery, already half-turned, ready if needed. But Marcus lifted a hand, just a subtle gesture, and his brother stopped. "Let it go," Marcus said softly. "We'll leave." He laid a few bills on the counter and walked toward the door. Malcolm followed, his expression unreadable. As the door closed behind them, Ray spat. "They think they can talk to me like that?" And when no one answered, he growled, "Let's go remind them who runs this town." Outside, the night air carried the heavy silence that follows humiliation. The twins walked toward their car, the echo of boots against pavement slow and steady. They could have driven away, but some wrongs demand witness. Behind them, the bar door burst open. Ray's voice cut through the night. "Leaving already?" "I'm not done with you." Marcus turned, phone already in hand. His thumb brushed the record button. A small red light blinked to life. Eli staggered forward, still drunk on both liquor and authority. "You boys think you can disrespect officers and just walk out?" "Officers?" Malcolm said quietly. "You're off duty. You're just 3 men following 2 you shouldn't have followed." Ray's laugh came out coarse. "Still got that smart mouth, huh?" Marcus's tone didn't change. "Everything you say right now is being recorded." That sentence landed like a warning shot. Frank hesitated near the doorway, glancing back toward the bar. Somewhere inside, someone whispered, "He's filming." The moment balanced on a knife's edge, 3 intoxicated egos on one side, 2 disciplined minds on the other. In the distance, a car engine approached, headlights cresting the hill. No one noticed yet. The night felt still, almost too still, like the world was holding its breath, because what was about to happen would change every life standing in that parking lot. Ray stepped closer until his badge chain brushed Marcus's shirt. "Put that phone down," he ordered. "No." Just one word, steady as a heartbeat. Eli reached for Malcolm's chest, fingers gripping the fabric. Malcolm didn't react, not with fear, not with anger. He simply looked at the hand, then at Eli's eyes. "Take that off me," he said quietly, "before you regret it." "Or what?" Eli jeered. "You gonna hit a cop?" Marcus's voice cut through the air. "No need. You'll hit yourself soon enough." That mocking calm twisted something inside Ray. He shoved Marcus hard against a parked car, metal groaning under the force. "Think you're tough?" he hissed. "Let's see how tough you are without that phone." Marcus didn't fight back. He just stared, unblinking. "You sure you want to find out?" Ray hesitated, not out of mercy, but confusion. The man in front of him didn't act like a victim. He acted like someone trained to assess threats, to wait for permission that would never come. "Enough talk," Eli said, pulling his baton. He swung. The blow never landed. Malcolm shifted sideways, the movement so precise it looked effortless. Eli's own momentum sent him stumbling forward, baton cracking against the car's hood, metal shrieking. The sound cut through the night like an alarm. Frank finally spoke. "Ray, stop. This isn't right." But Ray couldn't stop. Ego had taken control. He reached for his radio, fumbling with trembling hands. Dispatch. Headlights washed across the lot. A black SUV rolled to a halt, doors clicking open. A woman's calm voice sliced through the chaos. "Sergeant Dalton," she said. "I'd put that radio down if I were you." Everyone turned. A tall woman in a gray suit stepped into the light, a gold badge glinting on her belt. "Assistant District Attorney Renee Cole," she announced, voice carrying authority that no badge of theirs could match. "And I just witnessed 3 off-duty officers commit at least 4 crimes." Ray froze. Marcus lowered his phone but kept it trained on them, the red record light still blinking. For the first time that night, silence felt heavier than any threat. For a long moment, no one moved. The only sound was the ticking of a cooling engine. Renee's heels clicked once against the asphalt. 3 drunk officers, she said evenly, harassing 2 civilians without cause. "Do you have any idea what you've just done?" Ray tried to recover some authority. "Ma'am, they were resisting." "Resisting what?" she snapped. "Their dinner?" Eli's hand trembled around his baton. Malcolm spoke first. "Ma'am, everything's recorded. Audio and video." "I know," Renee replied. "I've been watching from my car for the last 3 minutes. The sheriff's department is on the way." Ray's confidence drained from his face. Marcus's next words finished the job. "Maybe introductions will help," he said. He stepped forward, posture straight, command in every breath. "Captain Marcus Ellis, United States Army Ranger Battalion." Malcolm followed with quiet steel. "Commander Malcolm Ellis, U.S. Navy SEALs." The parking lot went still. Ray blinked, unable to process. "Wait, Captain? Commander?" "Yes," Marcus said evenly, "and you just assaulted both." Frank lowered his head. "Oh, God," he whispered. Renee's tone turned glacial. "You 3 just committed assault on 2 decorated officers, recorded, witnessed, documented. That's not just a suspension, that's a felony." Eli's lips moved, but no words came. Marcus continued, voice calm as a verdict. "We're not pressing charges tonight. The system will handle that. But remember this moment, Sergeant. Every order, every insult, every time you thought your badge made you untouchable, this is what accountability looks like." Sirens wailed in the distance. Red and blue lights splashed over the pavement. Frank stepped back, hands raised in surrender. Ray's voice cracked. "You set us up." "No," Malcolm said softly. "You set yourself up. We just hit record." By dawn, the footage was everywhere. #Justice for the Ellis Brothers hit 1 million views before breakfast. Clips from 3 phones and the tavern's security camera flooded every feed. Each video told the same story: arrogance exposed, calm dignity prevailing. The Mason County Police Department suspended all 3 men before noon. The mayor held a press conference. Renee Cole stood beside the twins and faced the cameras. "Power without discipline," she said, "is just fear with a badge. That ends today." Ray Dalton resigned that afternoon. Eli Moore was charged with aggravated assault. Frank Sutter turned state witness, opening files no one wanted opened. Carter's Tavern installed new cameras. The city launched ethics training led by Captain and Commander Ellis themselves. Reporters swarmed the brothers, asking how it felt to bring a department to its knees. Marcus answered simply, "We didn't bring anyone down. We just stopped pretending not to see." Malcolm added, "This wasn't revenge, it was correction." News anchors called it the night dignity fought back. For once, Mason County wasn't known for silence, it was known for change. And somewhere behind the headlines, the twins drove home with their mother's untouched birthday cake still in its box. A quiet symbol of the night justice finally arrived on time. 6 months later, Carter's Tavern reopened under new ownership. A sign above the door read, "Respect served here." Marcus taught leadership and accountability to rookie officers. Malcolm advised on military-civilian cooperation. Renee Cole was elected district attorney by a landslide. As for Ray, Eli, and Frank, their names became cautionary tales whispered in training halls. Every new recruit in Mason County heard the same warning. If this story moved you, subscribe for more real stories of strength, justice, and humanity. Because arrogance fades, dignity lasts, and sometimes the quietest voice leaves the deepest mark.